I do a lot of different types of videos on my channel. Video games, I talk about different things, politics, culture, whatever. So this video is going to be about a great director, the great director Mike Leigh, that many of you have no idea about. And it took me a long time to watch his movies, but once I did, I was very grateful that I finally took a look at this man's work. So this video is more so for me than anyone else, but I would like to discuss his work, and he's a very underappreciated director. He comes from England, and even in his own country, he was overlooked for many years. And his films are entirely British, composed of entirely British cast members, and it's about as British, they are about as British as they could be. And he is one of the few directors that is as close to creating his own style as anyone else. He makes most of his films without even writing a script. 90% of his films are improvisational, and if you watch them, you can tell that that's the only way they could ever be made. The kind of characters and situations, they're so lyrical that there couldn't possibly have been a plot devised. But what he achieves is he looks at human nature, as bleak as it can be, as sardonic as it can be, as ironic as it can be, and he's concerned with the working class. His subjects in almost all of his films are very lowly characters, just the typical working class and even below of London and typical English citizens. He's made over the course of his career. He's embarked on the more fantastic kind of stories, but most of his films are traditional. There is no plot. It's just the days in the life of some very interesting characters. His best films are Naked and Secrets and Lies, two films that he made back-to-back in the early 90s. Naked stars the great David Thewlis in his breakout role. He creates one of the great film characters, a vagabond who essentially walks throughout the city just talking shit to people, and it's great. But these are characters that have deep problems, and the best thing they can do is stay ironic about them. Secrets and Lies is a very powerful film about family ties and a dysfunctional family, and it's definitely an emotional powerhouse. His films are very hard to watch, probably because it's like watching a documentary. They're so honest, but it's impossible to look away from them once you get the courage to explore them. And he's a very underappreciated director and a little-known director, but all of his films have received acclaim, and he's got a very interesting approach to how he makes his movies. And he took a long break from his first film, took a decades-long break, and then came back to it. And he's got an incredible way of crafting his films by working with the actors, and he explores ideas conceptually more than he's concerned with with the plot. He's just concerned with human nature. And his films are deceptively simple. But you'll meet some of the most interesting characters in his movies. He's definitely one of the great finds. For anyone interested in great films, you go to check out Mike Leigh, the great British director that no one knows of.